Good morning, children. Welcome to science class. As in the previous class, we already have studied about the importance of water. Today, we'll start the new chapter, Properties of Water. Now, children, before starting that, what are the different properties of water? Let's know that water soluble substances and water insoluble substances. A substance which dissolves in water is said to be soluble in it. For example, in a lemon juice, we have sugar, salt, and lemon juice. These are all soluble in water. Now let's know that what do you mean by solute, solvent, and solution? The substance that gets dissolved in a medium to form a solution is called a solute. And the medium in which the substance is dissolved is called solvent. So children, solution means when a substance dissolves completely in any medium, we get a solution. So the refreshing Nimbu Pani drink is a solution. Now let's know about the insoluble substances. Those substances which do not get dissolved in water are called insoluble substances. For example, sand, pebbles, when mixed in water, they do not get dissolved. Therefore, they are said to be insoluble in water. Now, it is not only solids and liquids that may or may not get dissolved in water. We find that some gases are soluble in water while others not. Gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen dissolve in water in small amounts. So, the aquatic animals use this dissolved oxygen for breathing. And nitrogen gas, on the other hand, is insoluble in water. Just see the slide, children. Now, after soluble and insoluble substances, let's come to the next property of water, floating and sinking. An object floats when the weight force on the object is balanced by the upward push of the water on the object. So, for example, cork, butter paper, thermocol, sawdust, hair oil, mustard oil are some materials which float on the surface of water. Now let's define sinking. If the weight force down is larger than the water's upward push on the object, then the object will sink. For example, sand, coins, pebbles, carbon tetrachloride, iron nails, marbles are some materials which sink in water. Now in the next slide, let's know about the physical states of water. First, evaporation. So children, what do you mean by evaporation? The change of a liquid into its vapor form is called evaporation. For example, children, just see this slide. Now, next physical state of water is condensation. The change of vapor form of a substance into liquid form on cooling is known as condensation. To see the examples, just go through the slides. Now, the next physical state of water is transpiration. Transpiration is a process similar to evaporation. It is the loss of water from parts of plants, especially leaves. Transpiration adds to the amount of water vapor present in the air. Thus, it also plays a role in cloud formation. Now, children, let's know about water cycle. What do you mean by it? So, when water from oceans, seas, rivers and lakes changes into vapor as it evaporates due to the heat of the sun, these water vapors rise up. As these go very high, they get cooled and condensed to form tiny droplets of liquid water. In this way, clouds are formed. As more and more water vapors condense, the drops of water in the clouds get bigger and bigger. Finally, they fall back on the earth as rain. A part of rainwater which falls on the earth sinks into the ground. Some of this groundwater is taken up by the plants and some of it goes to wells or springs. Most of the rainwater goes back to the rivers and seas. From here, it again gets evaporated by the heat of the sun. Hence, the cyclic process of evaporation of water from the earth's surface followed by its condensation is called water cycle in nature. So children, just see this slide where you can understand water cycle far better. I hope children you all have understood the chapter nicely. So thank you children and have a nice day ahead.